Hey, my name is Marc Coley, and you have landed yourself on my YouTube channel. Here we discuss all things personal growth, personal development, mindset mastery, and my favorite, spirituality as well. Today we are talking about 4 reasons that you should leave your hometown. 4. I'm sure there's tons, but we're going to only cover 4 of them. The reason that you want to leave your hometown is it's going to cause you to grow in how you think. Now, let me give you some backstory. I'm from a small town called Columbus, Georgia. And if we go back a little further, then I'm from an even smaller town. So I like to tell people that I'm from Columbus because they will not know the other city that I'm from. Nevertheless, both are pretty rural, and compared to the original place that I'm from, which is Morris, Georgia, you can look it up. Columbus is a major city. Most of my adolescence is spent in Columbus, Georgia. In, I want to say 2011, I decided to go to the military. Going to the military at that time for me was a way for me to make more money in my business. I had a small business at the time, so I've always been an entrepreneur, and this was an opportunity for me to make more money in my business. This was the thing that I considered was going to provide stability. I was going to be able to work, and I was even trying to get a job that would align with what I was doing at that time in business. Fast forward, I joined the military, and I have this intention of why I'm joining, but now that I look on it in hindsight, I realized that joining the military was one of the best decisions that I've ever made. I believe it was really a divine alignment, if you will, in that moment. Like I said, the reason that I joined was because I needed some bread for the business, but I believe that there was a bigger purpose and a bigger calling that pulled me into that direction. Now, let's keep in mind that I probably would not have left Columbus, Georgia, if it had not been for the military. So joining the military forced me out of that environment and forced me into a new environment. But I'm forever grateful for that, because moving is going to cause you to expand in how you think. You don't realize it right now, but a lot of how you think is based on your environment. It's based on the people around you. It's based on the church that you go to. It's based on the school that you go to. It's based on the social events that you attend. And most of them are full of people from the same area, and we're all pretty much thinking alike. Yeah, we may vary in some thoughts and this and that, but majority of the people in a area think alike. It's just how it is. I think psychologists call it like an echo chambers. We are all saying the same thing. We're all believing the same thing. We're all having similar experiences, and we're also describing these experiences pretty much the same, right? I was pretty content in Columbus, Georgia. I didn't really have a reason to leave, but by joining the military, it provided a catalyst for me to leave. And if I would have stayed there, I believe that my growth, my mentality, how I think now compared to how I think then, I think it'll be a whole different person. And I don't know whether it would have been good or bad. I'm leaning to a side, not necessarily bad, but a side that was stagnant in growth, or would have been stagnant in growth. So the first reason that I want to give you is that moving is going to cause you to expand in how you think. You're going to be around people that think differently from you. Of course, you're going to find your clique, your tribe, your group that you guys have similarities, but for the most part, being in a new environment it introduces you to new ways of thinking. The second thing is it extends your network of friends and influence. It extends your network of friends and influence. When you leave your hometown, you're leaving your family, you're leaving your friends, you're leaving associates, you're leaving all of that behind, and it's very scary. I'll be honest, once I moved, and my first duty station was Norfolk, Virginia. So after I got out of boot camp, I did A school. A school was in Meridian, Mississippi, based on my job. So shout out to those who know what I'm talking about. It's A school. And so after A school, my first assignment, my first duty station was Norfolk, Virginia. Mind you, I had never been to Norfolk, Virginia, so it was a brand new experience. And let me be completely honest, once I got there, I was very lonely. I was very homesick. And I believe if I was there based on any other reasons beside the military, and when I say that, I'm saying reasons that would have allowed me to come back home, I probably would have did so. But because I was in the military, the structure of it doesn't allow you just to one day say, I don't want to do this anymore. It's just not that type of organization. So because of that, I believe it kept me in that space so that I can get comfortable. And so, yes, initially you're going to be homesick. You're going to want to crave to go back to what's comfortable. And this is actually quite normal. But I want you to fight everything within you. I want you to fight for your opportunity to grow in this new environment. I like to teach my students, I say, if you were to get into a swimming pool in the dead of the summer, I don't care how hot it is outside, you get in that swimming pool, the water is going to initially be cold. And the first response, because of the shock, is for you to get out of that swimming pool. But if you would just stay in there just a little while, you will notice that your body will acclimate itself to the conditions that it is around. So after a while, you won't even notice that the water was cold because your body has gotten on the same level or wavelength as the water, and you now don't feel anything. So it's the same when you're introducing yourself to new environments and new experiences. The shock of it being new and not what's familiar will sometimes make you want to jump out of the swimming pool, and AKA for our conversation, jump out of the new environment or new place that you're living in and move back to something that's comfortable. But if you could just sit there a little while longer, you will notice that you start to acclimate yourself to an environment. The next thing is you become independent and you realize how much strength you have. Because when we are in our hometowns, we typically have friends, families, associates, girlfriends, boyfriends, friends with benefits. It's just all kind of things we got going on. And so that provides a level of comfort. It provides a safe space. It provides, okay, I can always go stay with my aunt. I can always go stay with my mom. I can always move back here. I can always, so you start to create these safe pockets that you have around you. But when you move to a totally new environment where no one knows you and you don't have these relationships that you've built, you don't have these friendships, you don't have anything, you just have, I'm new to this area, it causes you to really start to become independent. It causes you, especially if you consider yourself a shy person, you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone to start making friends. And trust me, that is going to be difficult, but you can do it. You can do it because you're going to fix your mind to say, I'm going to stay in this area until I get comfortable. And so it may be something as simple as going to the coffee shop consistently and start to notice people there that are there. And maybe you see somebody reading an interesting book and you spark a conversation. Or if you move to this new area based on a job, maybe starting to talk to people. What's to do around here? Where do you go? And you'll start to notice that you start to attract your new tribe of people. And it goes back to the other one that we said, that now you're increasing your network of influence because you now have new friends and new connections in a totally different area. Keep in mind, you still have the same ones back home unless you left home on some craziness, but you now have those new connections, you have these new experiences, and you are finding that you are very powerful and resourceful when you have to step outside of your box. All right, the fourth one that we have is you are now more open to new opportunities despite the challenges that you may face. Keep in mind, moving is difficult, not just the act in itself, but the mourning experience that you have when you leave your hometown. You're leaving a lot of memories. You're leaving a lot of experiences. You're leaving restaurants that you frequent. You're leaving the mall. You're leaving a lot of things. You're leaving the scenery. You're leaving just experiences that you don't even think you will mourn when you move to a new area, but you will. That is where we get the expression from, you're homesick, because you're sick from the mourning of what I am accustomed to. But if you could just move and you can just acclimate yourself to the environment, you will start to realize that the world will open itself to you. The world will open itself to you because you start to notice your power, your strength, your fortitude to stand on your own. And now you're opening yourself up to more opportunities like this, because this is how you're going to think. If I did something that was so difficult, such as moving from one city to another city and starting over and rebuilding my life and building new connections and new opportunities, then I can do this as well. And so the momentum that you experience from this act that was so powerful, because a lot of people don't move. A lot of people, and I hate to use this expression, but this is the only thing that I can think of. Some people get stuck in their hometown. When I say stuck, maybe they have a kid, maybe they have invested so much energy in building something there that they don't feel they can leave it, or maybe they've gotten married and it is not as easy just to uproot your life and move to a new place. But if you have the opportunity to move, or you're on the fence about moving, or you just feel this thing in your heart and your soul that I feel like I want to do a fresh start somewhere else, I believe that this is a divine sign for you to do so. What is the worst thing that can happen? You know what's the bad things? I know that it's going to be difficult. I know it's going to be painful or lonely at first. Trust me, I understand all of that. There were many nights. I'm a loner by nature, but there were many times that I was like, man, I wish I had friends in this area. I wish I could just go out. I wish I could just call somebody and say, hey, let's go hang out. But with time, all of these things come, and you will see how powerful you are for doing something so amazing. This is Marc Coley. If you like content like this, please consider liking this video first and subscribing to my YouTube channel and turning on the bell notification so that you can get updated every time that I post. You could just browse the channel and see what type of content you like, but I would love if you would consider subscribing so that you can help us become one big happy family. Until next time, please continue to evolve. Peace.